All right, y'all. Good morning, afternoon, or evening, whenever you're tuning in. I'm grateful to have you here. And we got my man, Tucker Carlson, back in the building, taking on a sassy professor that wants to take all of our money just because. How great is that?
Most people hate tax day, but Caroline Heldman is a big fan. It's hard to find her, but we did. She's a political science professor at Occidental College out in California, and she loves tax day so much, she wants to expand it bigly. She's called for upping the top tax brackets in America to 80% or more. Professor Heldman joins us
80%.
tonight. Professor, thanks for coming on.
Thanks, Tucker.
So I just want to get to motive here for a second. Do you want the tax rate to go up to pay for more stuff or as a way to punish rich people?
Well, neither of those things. And let's be clear, I'm not talking about taxes for your viewers. I'm talking about taxes for the top 1%, and I'm not even talking about all of their income. I'm talking about the marginal tax rate, the highest rate, which right now is set at $470,000. So I'm talking about wealthy individuals who on $470,000 plus would be taxed at a much higher rate than they are now. And in fact, historically, for example, under Eisenhower and JFK, they were taxed at 91%. Now they're taxed at less than 40%. And this has meant that we've scrimped on the social safety net. We've scrimped on education. There are lots of things that this money could go for.
Boy, we spend more on those than almost anyone else in the world. But to answer my question, I mean, you want to buy more stuff. It's not just because you object to the existence of rich people. You're not trying to hurt them. You just want to pay for more stuff.
Well, I don't think rich people are held to the same standards as other taxpayers. So I think that there are loopholes in their armies of lawyers and estate planners that allow them to hide their wealth. I would like to see that money go into the economy. I mean, taxes are the price we pay for civilization. I would love to see, free higher education. I would love to see our infrastructure, our crumbling infrastructure system funded in the United States. There are a lot of things that this money could go for if, wealthy people were fairly taxed, and they just aren't.
So you're from an affluent family. What does your mom think of this?
My parents, my family gives a lot in philanthropy, just as I do. I'm not on the top 1%, but, we are people who practice what we preach, and that means that you give a lot of money away in terms of nonprofits. I also use tipping of servers as a mechanism for redistributing wealth.
I'm confused. Okay, no, but I'm for all those things. I'm for philanthropy, and I'm especially for tipping waiters. I agree with you 100% on that, and so God bless you.
Glad to hear it, Tucker.
But you're asking other people to give their money to the government. Why aren't you giving 70% of your income to the government? You could.
Well, I'm not on the top 1%, but I have no issue.
You don't need to be.
But you're not without.
Well, that's the argument I'm making, right? That it's not about working class Americans or people like me who are upper income Americans. It's about really the wealthiest top 1%. Now,
I have no issue.
Wait,
you're a college
professor.
Taxes. I'm not attacking you. By the way,
I pay about 30%.
I know you're not. Why not pay 70%? I don't understand. What's holding you back? Why not lead by example?
Tucker,
why 30?
You know what's holding me back? If I knew how to do that, I would have no issue doing that. But the tax code is incredibly convoluted.
No, it's totally trust me. Let me simplify it for you. Just write a check, pay your taxes, then figure out what you pay. 30%. You said. Just figure out what another 40% of your income would be. Just send it to the U.S. Treasury. Washington D.C. No zip code required.
You know what I do, Tucker? You know what I do instead of that? Because we don't have a fair system of taxation, I write checks to nonprofits that are providing services that the government should be providing. So I write checks to Planned Parenthood. I write checks to nonprofits that serve.
Wait, all your 30% goes to Planned Parenthood, nonprofit that the government should be funding. The government should be allowing you to kill innocent babies, to murder them voluntarily. Doesn't matter how the baby got there. God put that baby in the womb. I've said it time and time again. So you have no right as a woman to destroy that life, that possibility, that blessing, that light that could be shining in the world that can make a huge impact later to come. You can't predict the future. Of course she's funding Planned Parenthood. Of course she is.
I write checks to Planned Parenthood. I write checks to nonprofits that provide a safety net for Americans, so it has the same effect.
I think you may be, but it doesn't actually. So why not pass a law requiring people to send money to charities that are more effective than the government is? I mean, so you're basically conceding.
That would be great too. As long
as the
government
is not the most efficient way to lift up the poor, then why won't you send it to the government then?
Tucker, I would say this train wreck of a Trump government is certainly not the best way to serve the poor, since they have no interest in serving the poor. But in general, I think government does a fine job providing the services
I'm just asking you to practice what you preach. Let me just ask you one other question here.
I do practice what I preach.
Well, you don't. You're telling other people to send their money to the government, and you're not. So,
I'm telling the top 1%. No, Tucker, don't put words in my mouth. I am telling the top 1%. I'm saying the government needs to tax them fairly. If we're going to talk about taxation, I actually think I'm taxed pretty fairly. I
Of course you do.
choose to spend way more than the majority of my income on other people. I choose to do that. But we're not talking about me. We're talking about...
Of course we're not talking about you. You don't want to do it.
We're talking about the top one.
It sounds awful.
Tucker,
70%
no, you don't get to do this. You don't get to lie. You don't get... No, Tucker, you don't get to put words in my mouth. We're talking about the top 1%.
Professor.
You're noting the obvious. I'm not on the top 1%. It's not about me.
They're the
this
ones
is
who are
not
going
an
to have to bear the
argument
burden,
about
but
me.
not you. Oh, it sounds
yes,
like you. Okay, I get it.
yes,
it's never
yes.
about,
That's the argument.
People proposing it. Let me ask you one quick question, though. I understand.
It's the marginal tax rate on the top wealthiest
There's
Americans.
a real
That's what we're
concern,
talking
I think, about accumulation of wealth at the top. It's probably not good for society. I bet we agree on that.
It's not.
But it's not about income. It's not about your income taxes. It's about capital gains taxes, taxes on investment, on capital that is working. That's how people get rich. Nobody's making $1 billion from the salary. Are you suggesting raising the capital gains tax rate to 70% too?
I am suggesting raising the capital gains tax on the wealthiest 1%. I am suggesting raising the income tax.
To what?
You know, economists say somewhere around 50% would be good. Income tax, you can go as high as 83%, and it won't suppress wealth pursuit.
But why would you want to tax
also,
labor
I would like
more
to
than capital? Why are you giving a pass to rich investors? I don't understand. Just why are you taxing working people?
The wealthiest 1%. I would like to tax them at higher rates across the board on their salary, on their investments, and also on what they're passing to the future generations. I want to see the death tax go up. I want to see all of it go up because right now the top 1% do not pay their fair share.
Okay.
We
got to go. But call me when you start sending all your money to the government, and then I'll follow.
You'll never hear from her again.
I'll call you when I'm on the top 1%. How's that, Tucker?
Perfect. We'll have lunch. Thanks, Professor.
Oh, I love Tucker. I absolutely love Tucker Carlson because he listens very intently. He's focused. He gives them all the respect to say their piece, but then he flips the table on them. He turns the table on them. And you saw how when she got trapped, when she got backed into a corner, she had nowhere to go. She knew she was being proven wrong, as usual, when most of these professors and people in charge of teaching our kids and instructing them down the path to good Lord knows where. We know it's evil, it's sinful, it has no common sense involved. When she got backed into that corner, all blame Trump. That's what people do. He's their fallback. He's their scapegoat. They want to push everything on Trump. But you can't. You can't. Trump is one of those top 1% that earned his way. Do I agree with all the things Trump has done or does or whatever have you? No, but can you not applaud his work ethic? Can you not respect his hustle, his wise investments, his know-how and willing to, take risks in life to pursue what he deemed as successful? Now, I'm sure Trump has given back a ton, but when you're wealthy, you can do that. When you're wealthy, you're able to give back and give to organizations that you value, that line up hopefully with godly values. Planned Parenthood does not. So thank God she's not in the 1%. Thank God that she doesn't have more money to fund murder. You know what I'm saying? It just makes absolutely no sense that these are the people that are instructing our kids. Just go ahead. Why don't you do what you say, do what you want the richer folks to do? Give that 80%. Why can't you do it? If you're not in the 1%, you might be in the 2%. You might be in the 10%. You still have way more than you need to function in life. Way more than you need. If you're still able to go out to overtip waiters and things of that nature, why not just give your 80%? Why not follow suit with everything else that you want everybody else to do? Hypocrites. And all these charities and nonprofits that she was talking about on national television that she liked to promote to try to enhance her look, to try to boost her image and give her some sort of moral pat on the back. I guarantee all those things she's claiming on her taxes. I can promise you that. And this is the kind of person that's instructing our children. Like, wow. Why would you even want to go to work? If you're being taxed 80, 90%, it's all getting taken away. So why would you even go to work? What are you actually telling people, and what type of structure do you want to line up in society? We already got a ton of people not working that just sit back, collect government paychecks just because they feel like they earn that right, just because they're born, they're breathing, that they don't have to work like everybody else. Why are you deeming these top 1%, these successful, wealthy people as evil? I think it's a beautiful thing that you earned that wealth. Hopefully you did it in an honest, God-fearing way. And if you didn't, when you get to that top tier of success, whatever it may be, I hope you find the Lord. I hope you're able to give back to those organizations that line up with godly values that, promote life, enhance society, enhance people onto the righteous path. But to just deem them automatically as evil and the top 1%, you just take all their money just because they're there and you're not. What type of sense does that make? Just because you didn't have the willingness and the perseverance to pursue whatever struggles and hurdles that were placed in their path, don't try to take all their money just because you didn't have that in you. That don't make no sense. Just something to ponder on, just in case they do pass a law someday to where the top 1% of income earners get taxed 80 to 100%. What happens when all those millionaires and billionaires leave America? Then what are you going to be thinking? What are you really going to be, able to do without those people in our country. You're taking everything they got. What's to stop them from leaving America to go somewhere else and take their wealth and independence somewhere else? Do you ever think about that? Do you ever think how the economy would plummet if these billionaires and millionaires and their wise investments and the things that they put back into the economy, if they actually left? It just boggles my mind that we've become the kind of society that resents success. And we've told children for so long that poor people are victims and picked on. And it's almost become heroic to stay in that bottom tier, to stay in that 98th percentile and be poor. It's about time our country starts to stand up and celebrate success. Why don't we show these kids how to work hard, how to take wise risks with financial investments and things of that nature, and tell these young people to strive for whatever success that they want. We need to stop denigrating people because they went out on a limb, because they invested in something, because they pursued their dreams, and start celebrating those people who have earned their wealth, not celebrating poor people, not celebrating people that, don't take risks, that don't want to work, that don't want to go out and help lift up society. They just want to stay in the house, collect a little simpy paycheck, and be done with it. It's insane. But I'm gonna get off my soapbox because I'm thinking worldly. And at the end of the day, God instituted all these governments. And I know not all governments love God. Many go corrupt. Many keep raising the percentages on these taxes, trying to take more than what's legal currently. Jesus said, don't take more than what's legal, but you also have to pay the emperor his due. So you still have to pay your taxes. And I'm giving near half of the money I make, and I'm sure you are as well. And still, the government is just pissing money in the wind. We're still $20+ trillion in the hole. But guess what? Here's the good news. If you're a child of God, all this is temporary. If you've accepted Christ as Lord and Savior, all this stuff that collects moth and rust destroys, it's not going with us. It's worldly. It's falling by the wayside. Once we're done here, we all only live once. Once we're done here, we're delivered into the arms of the Almighty. And if you haven't accepted Jesus as Lord and Savior, what are you waiting for? The time is now. You can still change your way. You can still walk the righteous path, and you can still pursue wealth and success while you're here in order to give back, in order to give the blessings that God has allowed you to have. If you have wealth, God allowed that to happen. You might not fear the Lord yet, but he can take it away at any time. So you better start fearing the Lord. And I'm not saying he's not going to take it away anyways, but when you die, you want to have eternal peace and salvation, because you can't have eternal wealth. You can't have all that prosperity. I want prosperity in heaven. I'm storing up treasures in heaven, not all these worldly treasures. Yeah, I like to buy stuff. Yeah, I like to do fun things here and there and all of that. I'm not going to lie. I'm a human being, but I've also accepted Jesus as Lord and Savior and been baptized in his name. And I'm going to keep pursuing that righteous path. And when I lose sight of the priority, I look up. Right, left, liberal, conservative, all that stuff, irrelevant. And I know I get caught up in the wind sometimes too, but I have to take a step back, breathe in, and realize God is on the throne. God is in control, and I'm striving to get to heaven. I'm striving for that eternal peace and salvation and directing as many people towards the gospel and the truth as possible. I pray that you do the same. Let me know what you think down below. Don't forget to bang that thumbs up button, subscribe if you're new, hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date on all future videos. Definitely share this video just for the sheer entertainment and Tucker Carlson's brilliance as a news anchor, as a host, as a logical thinking, common sense individual. And I believe he's a God-fearing man as well. I've heard him say God bless many times. I hope and to pray to God that he is or will be at some point before it's all said and done. But outside of that, if you want to support the channel, take it a step further, you can buy shirts like this, Land of the Free because of the Brave. This America shirt I have underneath this is a little chilly outside, or else I just unveil all the guns. But in all seriousness, all my links are down below in the description. By no means do you have to. You don't have to take it a step further, do any of that. Just showing up. I'm grateful to have you here. If you hate on me, whatever it is, you can keep scrolling. You could unveil that keyboard thugging ability down in the comments. Do what you got to do. I still love you. I still pray for you. As a Christian, we're called to love God and love our neighbor. So that's what I'm going to do. So until next time, I love y'all. Godspeed. I'm gone.